Is technology at your work distracting you from actual work? Do you spend too much time troubleshooting PC or internet issues? IT Enabled can help. Our team of IT specialists can help you tackle your technology troubles and get you focused on growing your business in no time. Call to schedule your technology consultation, 936-225-3329. IT Enabled. We're here to help.
We're excited today to have Al Charanza. Al is better known as an attorney in town, but today he is here on behalf of the Leadership Lufkin Alumni Association. So welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Why don't you give the listeners some background, talk about yourself, and then we'll talk about the program.
Okay. Well, I grew up in Arlington, Texas, the entertainment capital of Texas,
Nice.
with the Texas Rangers and the Cowboys now. And in 1983, I graduated high school and went to the University of Texas in Austin and graduated in 1987 with a degree in speech communication and emphasizing in organizational communication. First job out of college, I sold financial investments and tax shelters. I worked for a customs broker, and then 2 years later after college, I decided to go to law school and went to South Texas College of Law.
Okay.
Graduated there in 1992. I also got my law license that year, and it is also the year that I joined the Marine Corps and decided to serve as a judge advocate for 4 years on active
wow.
duty.
Okay.
And that was from 1992 until 1996. And after completing active duty, I came on here to Lufkin, Texas, and I was fortunate to get a job with Kurt Finley at Finley and Bate, one of our Leadership Lufkin alumni. Worked there for 2.5 years, and then Clyde Harrington, the district attorney, hired me to be an assistant district attorney, and I was a prosecutor here for 4.5 years. And then in 2003, I decided to leave the DA's office and start my own law practice, Charanza Law Office. And for the last 18 years, I've been defending people accused of crimes and helping families get through those problems that they have in the court system.
Nice.
But I also kept my affiliation with the military. I stayed in the Marine Corps Reserve.
That's right.
Was an infantry unit for 7 years. A lot of people don't know I was an intelligence officer for 3 years in that infantry unit.
Cool.
I went on to teach prosecutors was one of my jobs in the reserves. I did investigations all over the nation on different matters. And finally ended my career at the Naval Justice School in Newport, Rhode Island, as an instructor teaching every brand new Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard lawyer coming on active duty.
Wow.
So that was how I finished up in 2016.
Man, you have got some
I was
stories,
gonna
I
say.
can imagine.
Well,
That's awesome. Well, thank you for your service.
thank
That's
you.
awesome.
I appreciate it. But yeah, I finally retired as a lieutenant colonel in June 1st, 2016.
Nice.
So
You know, you always see Al around town, especially during Christmas with the Toys for Tots. I know that's very dear to your heart.
it's dear to my heart, but it's really dear to the Marine Corps League, which I've been a member since its inception. We were chartered, I think, around 2011. It was one of those first fundraising, or not fundraising, I should say, community events we wanted to do is extend Toys for Tots to Angelina County. And we could not do Toys for Tots without the community, and we have had tremendous success.
Absolutely.
Thousands of children, literally over 2,000 children a year, are serviced and provided toys and gifts that they may not otherwise get. And a lot of people don't realize that's actually gone into Brian Cruz, our coordinator, helps Trinity County. And now we may be getting someone into Polk County.
Wow, that's great.
So it's going down to deep East Texas.
You know, years ago, and we're like chasing a rabbit hole here, but years ago I had the opportunity to come and to help where you had all the staging area. It was the most overwhelming. I mean, I left there and just got in my car and just cried because I was just so overwhelmed at the outpouring of toys that people in our community had given
awesome.
for children that are less fortunate to be able
Yeah.
to have a Christmas. And it was great. So thank you for all that you do.
We will continue
that.
doing that every year.
That's awesome. Well, tell us, you were part of Leadership Lufkin what year?
I was in Leadership Lufkin 1997, 1998.
Okay.
So a little over 20 years ago, again, Kurt Finley, a Leadership Lufkin grad. I was an associate attorney there. I was only in Lufkin about a year at the time, and it was a great experience. It was a tremendous experience because not being from Lufkin, I got a chance to get to know the business, the health, government, social services, nonprofits, all these different facets that not growing up in the community, I didn't know, and I became educated. I made connections. I networked with individuals and found who I need to go to in this particular area. Made some great friends and associates. I mean, Chris Caraway, John Thanish, Jamie Hensley, Billy Russell. These are just some of my classmates. So it was a wonderful experience, and I encourage everyone to go through Leadership Lufkin. You will learn more about Angelina County and the parts that you would never even realize existed. And I think it's a great program that the Chamber has and has been running for many years.
That's great.
Love that. So what would you say going forward you were able to carry from, you talked about some of the relationships and the networking, but how are you still seeing benefits from Leadership Lufkin?
Well, I'm seeing benefits in Leadership Lufkin mostly through networking. And it helps, like in my law practice, when I have clients that have a need and I know that there's a business or service or someone that maybe from Leadership Lufkin that I have come in contact with, I know how to direct them. That's one. Second, on an individual basis, it helps me get outside the area of just law practice. As an attorney, much of us, whether you're a doctor, you're a business person, you work in a bank, you work at an industry. If you're in that Leadership Lufkin alumni and attending chamber events like First Friday Lunch and After 5, I've been able to find out what's going on in the community, in the business community. That's one. And second, I'm making connections with those leaders when something else comes. If there's a problem or issue in Angelina County, I think one of the things that we're strong in is individuals from Leadership Lufkin and the Chamber in general can identify a problem. And because of these associations that we met Leadership Lufkin or some alumni group, we can now know who maybe we can go to maybe help us fill this need. Good example, I mean, I'm on a drug court program that has been around since 2007.
Interesting.
And Judge Bob Enselman, we have grants that come in, and we have wonderful grants come in from Temple and other areas that keep us helping others in the community. That's just one example. But we have businesses donate things like cards from Whataburger and things for incentives for those people in a drug court. So the networking, identifying problems, and just furthering our community in that way is one of the advantages I've seen overall.
Absolutely.
We've been talking about the leadership programs all month long, and the great thing about the alumni program is you've got over 800 graduates of the leadership program now, and so you have this phenomenal resource, like you were saying, Al, that you can always pull from. The Chamber Guide that comes out every January always has the list of every single person that's ever gone through the alumni program, and so if you're ever looking back through stuff, it is like my go-to list of people when I'm looking for people to be on boards and people to come and serve different things. I literally flip to those 4 pages in the guide, and I'm looking at the people that have gone through the program, because I know those are leaders in the community, and they're people that I can call on that are already plugged in or already in the know to be able to help, with other resources.
It's amazing you say that, because I've done the same thing.
Yeah.
I go to that list when I have a need or concern,
That's right.
and I can go through, and I know that person is a leader in the community. And they may not be actively serving, and I encourage everyone to continue serving and volunteering, because that's how we keep our community growing outside our own business or work to benefit. But I do the same thing, looking for someone who can help me, either myself or, more importantly, someone that is in need that I have an interest in.
That's right. That's right.
So.
It's a great list. It's a great list for mentors. I use that when when we were doing the Leading Edge program, I was looking back through that list for mentors for Leading Edge. So if you're looking for great people to be on boards and things like that, go to your guide, flip it. It's about halfway through the book, and you can pull from it.
Well, one of the things I saw is when you see that list, you also realize that are many of the people who are on the boards who are still serving. And so I think that's one of the advantages of Leadership Lufkin. You have a core group of people who are still invested in the community and willing to go in their own personal time to do something more outside their business.
That's right.
I kind of nerded out a little bit 2 episodes ago this month when I realized that just the effect of the exponential growth of your network when you become an alumni and you become involved in that. Can you speak to some of the strengths of that, doing business in this community? You talked about being able to pull on these people as resources, but how does that benefit your business and you personally?
Personally and in business, one of the things I think it helps is when I go outside Lufkin, Angelina County, when I travel, when I go to another cities and state, I have more of a core understanding about Angelina County and all the things that we have that we can provide to them, because I have these connections with others. So I can communicate outside Angelina County of, hey, we got these great schools, not only the schools, but Angelina College. We have recreation. We have not only just the Forest and San Rayburn. We have the arts, the theater, the Pines Theater, downtown, Temple Theater. We have entertainment with the restaurants and the movie theaters and events like Forest Festival. So that connection there gives me kind of a base of knowledge, because I'm connected in to find out all these other things that Lufkin has to provide, so I can basically promote Lufkin in Angelina County when I'm outside the community. So that's one of the areas I've seen a big benefit at.
I love
and
that.
to help network outside, to educate others what really is Deep East Texas like. They have this opinion, and they hear about the Pine Curtain. Well, you know what? You get behind that Pine Curtain, you've got great sports teams in all the high schools, and we've got softball at Angelina College and great baseball teams. There's a lot more here. When they realize, oh, I remember hearing about that, or, oh yeah, y'all won the World Series. We remember that. Yes, that's Lufkin, Texas, Angelina County.
Yeah.
We are really trying to grow the alumni program, and Al, you've always been involved. You've been plugged in. This year, we decided to actually lower the dues because we felt like we had not done, as our chamber staff, we had not done our job on keeping people plugged in, and given the alumni the opportunity to actually get back involved and to have events for you. But that's one thing we've done this year. We've lowered the alumni dues to $40 a year. We're doing Leadership Academy lunches, where we're trying to do 2 of those a year, where we've got past Leadership Lufkin grads that are coming and speaking. We're doing socials, 2 socials a year. And then a lot of times y'all ring the bell during the Christmas holidays, which is always fun to. And I think what's really cool is, everybody, you've heard us say throughout the month, everybody thinks they're the best class ever. And so all the classes come back together and they compete against other classes to see how many people they can get to come and be a part of that. And, then they can say, we really are the best class ever. So that's been always kind of fun to watch.
And having attended one of those alumni events, I really stands out. One of the first ones was Trey Henderson. He talked about a history of his family and their impact in the community going back 100 years. I would never known that history without hearing it from the source.
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful, again, it's that story you take in that you can now tell within the community in Angelina County, so we have our own individual pride. But it's, again, that story of how our businesses did so much to build this place, getting the first hospital together. It was business that came together to get the first hospital in Angelina County, and how businesses came together and developed not only just jobs, it provided for a better quality of life for everyone. And we're still doing it here today if we keep telling that story. But you got to kind of show up and hear the stories and share them as alumni.
Well, I'm excited about a new program that we're hoping to kick off next year, by the fall of next year. It's called Encore, and it's going to be only offered to the alumni. It's going to be a high intense leadership training that we're going to do. It's going to be a 6-month program where we're bringing in an outside speaker and an outside motivational speaker, leadership speaker. So, if you're looking at and you're thinking about joining the alumni, now is the time to do it, because this is going to be a new opportunity for you to be able to continue to further your leadership skills, and to be able to take things back to your own businesses and to your families. So we appreciate you being a part of all this.
Well, thank you. I planned on being in this organization in the future. I've got some future plans here. We have a Judge Paul White's going to be retiring next year. And so I'm going to be running for district judge of the 159th District Court, and taking some of this Leadership Lufkin experience, if they, the community decides to elect me, and start up in 2023 in the courthouse.
Nice.
So we'll see.
Best of luck.
We'll see what happens.
Best of luck. Okay. That's great. That's great.
Well, good luck with that. Thank you so much for coming on the show and talking to our listeners about your background and the experience with the Alumni Association. And we want to thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. We truly appreciate your support. If you'll do us a huge favor, if you'll go rate and review the podcast wherever you're listening. And if you want to watch the video version of this podcast, you can find it on the Chamber Facebook page and on the Chamber YouTube channel. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week.